ourselves a different type of solo leveling farm. I gotta talk about Solo Leveling Season 1 TV versus Blu-ray from A Boy Dude Reviews. Let me know what's going on.
Solo Leveling Season 1 Blu-ray is here. I got the 4th volume of the Blu-ray set, episodes 10 to 12.
Hype.
This Blu-ray set...
Damn. Look at that. Look at that art. Look at that throne. He just aura farming in the fucking Blu-ray DVD screen too.
At episodes 10 to 12, this Blu-ray set cost me over $60. It has the Blu-ray disc, a storyboard book set, couch...
Is Regina? We got old man here. Why is she topless here, huh? I think a lot of people might be buying for this. What about, does old man have topless, you know, specific art here too?
Book set, character profile turnaround sheets, and
Cool.
a special disc. Inside the special disc, they pretty much play the best bits of Season 1 in storyboard form. It's essentially an animatic of some of the best bits from the episodes
highlights.
with the audio playing in the background. It's pretty cool seeing these rough sketches, but that's the only special features. But what about the comparisons? What visual changes have been made? Well, in this volume, not very much. First up, towards the end of the opening, they changed the font of the Solo Leveling logo.
Oh, that's worth the $60, huh? You guys see the difference? We got Japanese and English on the right side, but on the left side, only English. Is that it? It's gotta be more than that, right? Okay. Looks okay.
The name at the bottom of this top secret plan document, I won't pronounce it in case.
Oh, right. Because like TV is always going with the actual like Korean names, but I guess in the Blu-ray they said fuck it, it's gonna be all Japanese instead. And it's not even Jeju Island anymore. It's called Kanan Island. The Blu-ray just made it Japanese.
In case I butcher it, as well as the name of the island being changed. The name in this text message has also been changed.
Songjin-woo, Shun Mizushino. Yeah, they just basically just localizing it for the Japanese audience for the Blu-ray, huh? I wonder what kind
has been changed to Igrit from...
Why? Why is it Igrit? Why are they doing this? I don't get it. Here's an interesting thing that also happens in Korean dubs of anime. Korean dubs of anime? There was like an anime called Slam Dunk a long time ago. They always made the Japanese names into their own Korean versions. I remember that. Like, Korea does this shit a lot too. Japan too also, I guess, is just taking the Korean shit and just taking it, just localizing it for the Japanese audience for local DVD sales.
TV to Blu-ray.
But it's not local though, because like people globally are buying it.
They made this change in a couple of scenes.
Igrit. I like Igris better. It's just, you know, it's the OG.
And finally, the physical damage number percentage has been changed from
Okay. Why? Is this more lore accurate? Did the webtoon say minus 15% rather than minus 20%? Because if that's the case, then that's sweaty, and I appreciate that. But like this, what is the point here, bro?
Minus 20 to minus 15.
We got new patch. We got new patch though. Songjin-woo nerfed. Honestly, stuff like this really doesn't really impact the viewing experience, right? It's just funny. What a trivial change.
And that is it. Those are all the major changes from TV to Blu-ray. Apart from the changes that I showed you,
Then the Blu-ray's not really worth watching, is it? Like, the Blu-ray basically just is changing the Korean names into Japanese with a very trivial change in the numbers too for the Jesus Christ, the percentages. It's $60 for this shit? Is it worth it?
Every other scene from episodes 10, 11, and 12 have 0 changes. One thing to note is that some scenes do play 1 frame behind in the TV version. The Blu-ray is uncompressed compared to the Crunchyroll streamed version, so the overall quality does look better on your HD TV. In case you guys want to see episodes 1 to 9, then like this video and subscribe for more, but I'm not too sure if there's any point in doing episodes 1 to 3.
Like, if the top tier episodes here, that's the highlights, have no fucking changes, then why would the other episodes have any changes that's significant enough?
As some people online have claimed that they have bought the Blu-ray and seen no changes, so
Ooh. Very disappointed. JJK fans are lucky to have quality Blu-ray. So I don't know the standard of Blu-ray versus TV differences. I guess, you know, for a lot of other shows, they do it justice, but for Solo Leveling, it's pretty ass.
it might be a waste of money. Moving on from this, how did the Blu-ray sales actually do
Let's
back in
see it.
2024? Well, not good, mate. Not good at all. There's an article by Anime Hunch talking about the sales, so let's talk about it. Solo Leveling Blu-ray Volume 2 sales bomb in Japan despite global success.
Bombs in Japan despite global success. Racially motivated? Nah. I don't think just because this is a Korean original that it's doing bad in Japan, but that's interesting. Didn't Chainsaw Man also have a similar situation where I don't know, I'm probably capping right now, but I think the common sentiment was that the local audience they had a lot of drama with the director, you know, but globally people enjoyed it.
2 sales bomb in Japan despite global success. Recent reports that have come out pointed out that Solo Leveling Blu-ray Volume 2 has bombed miserably in Japan despite its overseas popularity. 1 week after the release of the Blu-ray, it has failed to appear on any sales rankings in Japan, falling significantly below expectations. Solo Leveling Blu-ray Volume 2 sold fewer copies than the lowest ranked titles for that week.
There's no fucking way people buying more MASH than Solo Leveling. This is a very unique case. Solo Leveling does so bad in Japan. Japan hates Solo Leveling. They don't like the aura farming. Sung Jin-Woo's chin is too sharp. I don't know. This is such an interesting case. And it's also interesting that like they changed the Korean names to Japanese names also for like the Blu-ray DVD. I wonder if there actually is any negative sentiments towards Korea, right? I don't think the modern, you know, like the newer generations of Japanese, you know, citizens or the Korean citizens harbor any of the really, really negative, you know, feelings that they had back during World War II and so on, right? The older generations, bro, they're beefing. They beef so fucking hard, but I just feel like the only thing that could really be the factor of the Solo Leveling bombing in Japan is just they have no respect for the show because of the cultural ties it has with Korea. I'm not trying to play the racism card, but like what else could it be? Because by all means, the anime is fucking stunning. The anime is so exciting. And plenty of hype shows like this has done perfectly well. But the fact that it sells less than MASH, Magic and Muscle Season 2, by the way, Season 1 was great, but Season 2, by the way, what the fuck? Like, how could it bomb so hard in Japan? I could only feel that like the fans just don't fuck with the whole Korean sentiment of Solo Leveling there.
Bloody hell, mate, that's pretty damn bad. Which included Martial, Magic and Muscles
That's crazy.
2, Volume 2 on Blu-ray, which sold 629 copies, and Blue Exorcist Season 3 on DVD, which sold 164 copies. Solo Leveling Volume 1 for the Blu-ray had also failed to make it on any sales charts. While Blu-ray and DVD sales are not the sole indicator of success, they remain a significant measure of a show's popularity in Japan, reflecting the number of fans.
That's right. Domestic numbers are I think the common sentiment that I hear is that Japan don't really give a fuck about how the global audience reacts to their shows because they care more about local domestic sales, right? As long as it's doing well in Japan, they'll keep pumping it out. And if it does bad globally, then there's less of a chance. Well, clearly that's not the case with Solo Leveling and maybe even Chainsaw Man, but it's just sad that Solo Leveling is flopping in Japan.
As willing to invest in merchandise, despite the anime enjoying immense international popularity and confirming a sequel, its reception in Japan seems to have fallen short of expectations. Oh dear, mate, oh dear. Solo Leveling is one of few animes to have most of its episodes at over 100,000 likes on Crunchyroll, and the new episode of Season 2 completely destroyed all records with over 200,000 likes. That is quite insane, dude. continued. The insane popularity for Solo Leveling is one that I never expected, but despite the success, you would think that that would translate to the Blu-rays. Well, wrong. I can already see why the Blu-ray sales aren't doing as well in
Well, I mean, first of all, the Blu-rays were pretty ass, right? The difference is I guess the extra character art, is that warranting $60? Not really. But I don't think it's necessarily, again, the quality differences of the Blu-ray DVD and the TV that's actually causing this. I think there is actually like cultural like negative sentiments because it's like a Korean show, like a Korean manhwa coming to Japan, and Japan saying like, nah, this should be like Japanese only. Maybe I'm crazy for saying that, but I just can't think of any other factor at the moment.
Japan. Most people are just not buying Blu-rays and DVDs like they used to. We do live in an age where watching TV and movies is more accessible now than it has ever.
For sure, but how the fuck could it have sold less than MASH Season 2? The fact that like if this sentiment that people are buying less DVD Blu-rays, therefore the sales are bad, then across the board, everything should be doing bad. You telling me MASH Season 2 did well? I saw that garbage ass fucking season. It was so fucking mid. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining, but it was honestly like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 at best. Like, you tell me this shit is better than Solo Leveling in sales? That's fucking crazy to me.
Been. And cheaper too. You have to be a hardcore fan of this series to go out of your way to spend over $60 on the Blu-ray, and with it being divided into 4 different volumes, you're looking at possibly over $240, possibly more if you include shipping. Most people don't care too much about quality. As long as it looks good enough to them, then they will always pick convenience and price. But
True.
the article does go into more details as to why this season of Solo Leveling has bombed. Let me read some of these comments. Solo Leveling did really well outside Japan, but in Japan its presence has already disappeared. I'm currently in Japan and there's absolutely nothing about
No
Solo
advertisements.
Leveling. Meanwhile, Farron and other popular anime/games are everywhere as expected, and Koreans.
I wonder if Blue Archive gets advertised a lot in Japan. Trying to figure out if there's like a pattern of behavior where, like, let's say even Korean gacha games don't even get advertisements in Japan.
Stuff can be popular in Japan. I think the reason is that merchant adverts in Akihabara are distinctly only a priority if you are a JP company that owns the IP and is planning on selling specifically to your home country. Solo Leveling's IP is owned by a Korean company and was licensed out to JP for the anime. I imagine Korean company isn't as willing to splash out money for merch advertisements and other forms of marketing in Japan.
So I take everything back I said, if this is true, where now it's not Japan saying, like, suppressing and nerfing Korean content because it's not, you know, like their national product, but rather Korea is the one that's cheaping out. They're refusing to go out and, you know, spend money for merch, advertisements, and other forms of marketing in Japan because they think it's doing well in outside of, like, let's say, internationally. Now, that's a very interesting case where now maybe there's like negative sentiments in the Korean people where they're like, fuck it, we don't even want this shit to do well in Japan. Just let it do well across the board globally, and like we're just not gonna invest anything in Japan. That's a very interesting inverse of like what we were theorizing.
And it's kind of the same reason anime is rarely shown in theaters in America and rarely gains much traction when it's shown. JP companies aren't really interested in investing huge amounts of money running trailers and other advertising blitz in the US that Hollywood releases frequently do. My overall thoughts on this is that Japan doesn't quite advertise this show as much as other countries do. Maybe this series is just more popular in the West than how it is in Japan. But I still go back to my initial thoughts is that people just don't buy Blu-rays and DVDs as much anymore. And with the lack of advertising from the Solo Leveling company when it came to promoting the Blu-ray,
again, right? The Blu-ray DVD, people not buying, like the audience behavior not buying Blu-ray DVD, this should be scaled equivalently to every other show too. I don't buy that this behavior is why Solo Leveling did bad in Japan. MASH did better. That makes no fucking sense to me. It has to do with the advertisement. Who is responsible for the lack of advertisement in Japan? Is it the Japanese company that's suppressing it intentionally? Or is it the Korean companies that's cheaping out and say, we don't want this shit to be advertised in Japan? I have no clue.
I think that also hurt the sales in my opinion. I also believe that Japan needs to start doing worldwide releases in other countries for Blu-rays instead of only exclusively releasing Blu-rays in Japan, especially when we're living in a world where torrenting sites are doing more numbers than the official sites. Maybe this intense hype for season 2 will probably change all that. Going back to the Solo Leveling anime, yes, despite season 1 being a success, there were those who did find some of the action sequences to be underwhelming. Now, Now, people have their own opinions, and I can respect that, but mate, I don't agree with that. I thought the art and animation
There's always going to be people saying mid, right? The vast majority of people can agree that Solo Leveling Season 1 looks stunning. Is it the pinnacle of fighting animation? No. But I think it's goddamn good.
looked absolutely stellar, and most people actually agree with my statement, i.e. the high amount of likes on the Solo Leveling account on Crunchyroll. Looking at all these action sequences, I cannot pinpoint any moments where the art or animation took a drop in quality. In my opinion, I think it got better and better and better. I mean, mate, have you seen the Jin versus Igris fight sequence? That looked absolutely phenomenal. Plus, the Crunchyroll TV version doesn't have any ghosting or dimming. Of course, check out my full review for Season 1 and my first episode for Season 2. I think my next TV versus Blu-ray comparison will probably be Dan Season 1 when it comes out later on this month. I am indeed quite curious if there will be any changes made to those episodes. It will be the first 3 episodes, by the way, as Dan will be releasing each volume monthly. Who knows, we're gonna wait and see. But tell me in the comments down below what you guys think of this, and what do you
Why expect changes when it's already good? Well, that's a very small mindset. Why don't you want something to be even better? Are you fine with just what's been given? I mean, there's, I think, an expectations to be had if you're going to sell Blu-ray DVD that it should be even better, or at the very least offer even more beyond just the different animations, like the specific unique character art and the different, you know, these extra content, which is pretty cool. This is a very interesting scenario. Solo Leveling bombing in Japan, huh? And again, there's 2 sides to this, and I have no clue. We're just fucking spitballing theories here. I thought that maybe the Japanese audience in Japan has this like huge nationalistic pride of having Japan come first. Therefore, a Korean IP coming in, they're not going to market that shit. They're not going to try to, you know, give it the spotlight that it deserves. I thought that that's maybe the case. But then again, there's the other aspect where the Korean companies are saying, nah, we don't want it to be, you know, advertised in Japan. They're not willing to, you know, splash out money for merch, advertisements, and other forms of marketing in Japan. I have no fucking clue whose fault it is. Maybe it's a combination of both. Not sure, but hey, at least, you know, global release, this is doing well, not just in Japan. That's a very interesting video though. Here, please check out Mr. A Boy Dude Reviews. He covers specifically TV versus Blu-ray DVD, you know, comparisons, and just kind of analyzes that. What a very interesting niche. And, oh shit, his channel, profile picture, Jinga Hagane. Beyblade? Oh shit! Check out the second channel if you have some Beyblade reactions. See you next time.